This is what I do. This is what I will do. At the beginning of every lesson, I will click the record button. And then at the end of every lesson, I will send to you the video, okay? The video of the live lesson. Why? Because sometimes you may go to the washroom, right? And if you go to the washroom, should I stop and wait for you? Actually, I don't, because you see, imagine if there are 6 to 7 people here. Every 5 minutes, there's somebody who wants to go to the washroom. That means I have to stop for quite a long time. Okay, so a lot of time would have been wasted. That's why I will do the recording and then I will send to you afterwards. And another reason is also right now it's raining at my place here. And I hope that my internet will not have problem. I hope that my internet will. Do we ask if you want to go? I told you you don't have to. Okay, if you want to go to the washroom, don't have to ask me. Okay, don't have to ask me. You just go. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. Another reason is maybe on certain day the weather is not so good. Okay, and it's raining heavily. And what if you happen to have very bad internet on that day? So you will be experiencing lagging here and there, right? That's why you need the video. Okay, you need the video. Another reason, you could be absent due to emergency or anything else, or family holidays, family birthday, parents' birthday. Okay, then you cannot turn up. Then you can make use of that video. Okay, so if you don't receive the video, you let me know. Okay, I will send to you after every lesson. Okay, so about myself, I graduated from Sunway. Okay, Sunway College in 2015. I graduated in 2015. 6 years ago. Okay, yeah, 6 years ago. I'm close to 30, but not 30 yet. Okay, not 30 yet. And what I did is I did ACCA. Okay, if you have the chance to get in touch with anybody who does accounting in their life, then I think you should have heard of this course before. Okay, ACCA is a professional accountancy course. If you wish to be an accountant, this is one of the courses you may go and sign up. Okay, after you can do this course after IGCSE. Okay, as early as finishing IGCSE. You have many other courses here. Okay, Sunway College is very popular for their accounting courses. Okay, if you want to know more information in the future, you can find me. Okay, you can find me. And then I'm from Selangor. I'm from Selangor, Balakong. Okay, Selangor, Balakong, Cheras Selatan. Not sure if you know where that is. And yeah, that's me. I have been teaching for 4 to 5 years, teaching only one subject, which is this one. Actually, not just one subject. 2 to 3 years ago, I used to teach business studies as well. But nowadays I don't, because I find that I do not know very well how to improve students' English. I know how to teach the subject business studies. If your English is very good, not very good, if your English is okay, not very bad, then I can guide you in business studies. Otherwise, I find it very difficult. Okay, if a student with weak English but also doesn't, but at the same time not very good in business studies, I find that very hard to guide. Okay, because I find myself I'm not good in teaching English. Okay, because I've never taught English. Okay, so nowadays I only teach accounting, only IGCSE. Okay, now if you need to go to the washroom, don't have to ask me. Okay, don't have to ask me. And okay, I used to let students print my notes. Okay, I used to send them PDF, but nowadays I send the physical books easier. Okay, don't have to remember to print, don't have to wait for the printer to print. It's a waste of time. Okay, this is what I talked about just now. I will send you the recording after every lesson. If you cannot attend, I will send you the video. And okay, when you want to ask me any question, you can turn on your mic and speak, or you type. Okay, up to you. Okay, which one you prefer, you go on and do it. Okay, open your mic and ask, or you type, up to you. And for homework, usually after every lesson, I will assign you some homework, and it depends. Okay, it depends on the progress. Let's say today we end at 9:30, right? Every lesson we end at 9:30. If exactly at that time I have finished one topic and there are no more questions for that topic to do, then on that day there will be no homework lah. Okay, because I should not give you a homework that you cannot do, right, for the next topic that I have not taught. Okay, so it depends on our progress. Okay, whether you will have homework or not. But don't worry, I would not give a lot. I will not give a lot. I will always be giving you reasonable amount of homework. And this is the one that students use to send me the homework. Okay, generate only one PDF. Don't generate one page of answer in a PDF. Okay, if you send me multiple PDF, I will find it difficult to read your answer. Okay, just generate one PDF using Scanner. If you are not using smartphone, then you may have to borrow from maybe someone else's phone, okay, parents' phone or anyone else. Then send it to my WhatsApp. I always see students answer in the WhatsApp. Okay, so that's it for my introduction. Okay, briefing, your orientation. Okay, 10 minutes orientation. Now, in fact, only 7 minutes. Okay, yeah. So let's see what to do next. Of course, we do accounting, not business or economics here. We go to the book one. Go to the book one. You should have the book. We talk about accounting. Don't worry, no introduction section from you. Okay, it's not school lesson. I will not ask you to introduce yourself. Okay, I already know you quite well. Okay, from the form that you fill up. Okay, I hope you have taken your dinner. Okay, make sure you take dinner before every lesson so that you get the energy. So here is how I structure my notes. Okay, my notes are with many blanks here and there. Reason is, you see, if my notes don't have blanks, this is an example. If my notes don't have blank, you would just be sitting there, then listen to me, right? Okay, and it's not motivating. I think in a way, it's not motivating because I'm not sure you have heard of something known as when you write, you would remember better, right? I believe you have heard of that before. That's why I always let my students write. Of course, I will not let you write the notes from scratch on a piece of blank paper. Okay, that's why I have the notes for you. I only make some blanks here and there for you to fill up. Okay, so make sure you have a pen or pencil in your hand. Okay, when I do any writing, you may go along and write together with me. Get the idea? Yeah, that's how I conduct my lessons. For all the notes, I have blanks here and there. Okay, always have blanks here and there. So two books, right? Book one, book two. For book one, you can see that as year 10 accounting. Book two, you can see that as year 11 accounting. Okay, so let's see the first page. We start from the first page. Okay, but first page, nothing to learn here. First page is the exam preparation guide. Okay, I know not you may know how to prepare for the exam. Okay, just study, right? Okay, study, simple, sounds simple, but some students they may not have the idea. Okay, that's why the first page can help you out. Okay, can help you out in learning how to prepare for the exam. So you may read on these 2 pages on your own. Okay, when you're free. And most important sentence for year 10 students is this one. This line. Hold on, yeah, I'm finding I also have what we call this, the writing pad. Okay, the writing pad. It makes me guiding students more easily. Okay, I have the pen. So the line that I want you to see is this. Real fact, the real fact. Many year 11 students, those from 5 students, okay, they face the need to make the decision of whether to drop some elective subjects. Elective subjects means subjects that you can choose whether to do or not. Is mathematics an elective subject? No, okay. Mathematics you must do, okay. That's a must do subject. Science subjects like physics, chemistry, biology, accounting, business studies, economics, all these are elective subjects. You can choose whether to do or not, unless the school forces you to do so. Okay. Certain schools, they force students to take the English first language. Okay, English first language. That's not easy. Okay, so it depends on your school. Okay, whether a subject is elective or not. So whether they have to make a decision whether to drop some elective subject due to the heavy preparation burden needed a few months before the actual IGE exam. Okay, in fact, it's not that the preparation is heavy. It is because they started to prepare too late. Okay, if you have known some people who are your seniors, they may face this situation, okay, whether they should drop this subject or not because of not enough time. Okay, so I always advise my year 10 students, always it's wiser to get prepared way ahead. Okay, always prepare way ahead. Don't wait until you get into the year 11, then only you start to prepare. By that time, there will be too many things to do, really. Okay, and then, so this line I read with you. Okay, then there are a few pages here that compares the textbook differences. Okay, you see, I believe you have a textbook. Okay, if you have started learning with the school teacher for accounting, you should have a textbook. There are many textbooks. There are many accounting textbook, IGCSE accounting textbook. I show you a few. But not all are good. Okay, really, honestly, not all textbooks are good. Okay, so many textbooks here. The leftmost one is good. Okay, the top left one is good. This one is good. And this one I've not used before. And no, you use the Hodder one, patient. Okay, honestly, questions in there are too easy. Okay, the questions in there are not exam standard questions. Not that good, but can use lah. Okay lah. Okay, in Malaysia we say, okay, this one is okay, but not good. Okay, not good enough. And then I used to have this book. Okay, this one is not bad also. Okay, but overall I can say that there are pros and cons. Okay, and then another thing is, if you have all the textbooks, okay, if you have all the available textbook in the market for this subject, which I think you don't, okay, there's no point to buy all the textbooks, right? Waste of money. And not waste of money, but expensive, very expensive. If you compare all the textbooks, their contents page are different. Their contents page are different. I show you one example. Hold on, yeah. Let me open up the textbook comparison. So this is from the Hodder's textbook, the contents page. Okay, I show you one more. The other book, this one. Okay, don't tell people, yeah, I'm using the pirated one. Okay, this is the PDF version that I bought somewhere. Okay, But PDF is useful. Otherwise, I cannot find the PDF version. Okay, I have to get a PDF version. Okay, so this is the difference between the contents page. You can see, okay, you can compare yourself. The contents, they arrange in different sequence. Okay, but for some topics, they are at the same position. For example, double entry, can see chapter 3 double entry, and here is in the chapter 2 and 4. Okay, chapter 2 and 4 for the left one. Okay, for this is fine. But certain topics, there's a big difference. You see on the right hand side, you have correction of error, chapter 7. Can see correction of error, chapter 7. But for the book on the left, it is in the chapter 15. See, there's a big difference. And would this give me a problem? Actually, yes. Okay, because some students, they are always excited for every school exam. They must ensure that they do very well. And when I have not taught you certain topic, but your school has covered it for the exam, you have to study on your own first, okay? Because at the end of the day, we will be there. But if I have not taught a certain topic, but your school teacher has covered it for the exam, you may find me for help in the WhatsApp. Okay, you can contact me. But in the group, I have to follow the pace of the lesson. Okay, I have to follow the pace of the lesson. Okay, so this is something you need to be aware of. Okay, you need to be aware of. Okay, yeah. So my point is there's a big differences between the textbooks available, okay, in the market for IG accounting. And you can see the comparison yourself. Okay, for example, patient told me that she is using Hodder Education textbook. And in my materials, where is it? You can see, okay? For example, you want to look for purpose of accounting. You want to learn bookkeeping against accounting, the meaning. You look at part 17 notes. Okay, part 17 notes. For example, you want to learn trial balance, you look at part 5. That's how you can find the related contents in my book. Okay, So if you want to revise for your school exam. Okay, so this one I skip through. Okay, you look at this on your own. And then accounting exam strategies, not for now, it's too soon. Okay, this page is useful when you have started to practice past exam papers, but not so soon. Don't worry. Then this page, not useful to you yet. Not useful to you yet. And the same goes to this. Let's get to the contents page. Yeah, this one. You have page 2 here. Okay, it's written page 2 here. You can see there are a total of 18 parts. Okay, 18 parts, and then 3 sets of revision question sets. Okay, 3 sets of revision questions. You can see each part as a chapter. Okay, you can see each part as a chapter. Today, I intend to do the first one. Okay, we will talk about why you do accounting, what brings about the existence of accounting, how it comes about, who created accounting, okay, why do you need to do accounting, and so on. And then the rest of the topics, don't feel too intimidated by the so many number of topics here. We will be there soon. Okay, we will be at the end soon. Okay, and how much time do I need to complete the whole subject? I can tell you on average, I spend 50 to 60 hours. Okay, 50 to 60 hours to complete the whole subject with you, including doing plenty of questions, but excluding doing the past exam papers by papers. Okay, exclude doing the past exam papers by papers. So you can see right now, you start with me in October 1st. To be honest with you, after 10 months, you would have finished the subject with me. Okay, by that time, we would be doing on revision. Okay, we would be doing revision, doing extra questions, doing past exam questions, and so on. Okay, so we wait until then. Okay, so no more stories to tell. Now we get into the subject. Okay, we get into the subject, part 1. Okay, so see this as chapter 1. Okay, firstly, we are going to talk about, so with a pen in your hand, yeah, business organizations. Okay, and then we'll talk about what is accounting equation. Okay, let's see the first page. First page is this one, page 6. Let me rotate this. Okay, you know what is business, right? I'm not going to explain to you what is the meaning of business. Okay, you should know the word business. Business means, sorry, there's no another word for business. I can tell you that another word is buying and selling. Okay, buying and selling. Okay, but I can tell you about why. Okay, why do you run a business? Of course, to earn money, right? You run a business to earn money. Okay, in accounting, the money that you earn, we call it as profit. Okay, so first word you learn right now is profit. Profit is the money that you earn in business. And very soon you are going to learn how to calculate profit. Okay, for now, just know that profit means the money you earn. Let's talk about how you can run a business. By the way, if you feel that my voice is too loud on your side, you lower down the volume of your laptop, okay? Because I would not know how loud it is on your side. Okay, so I will just try my best to use reasonable level of voice. Okay, if you find that I'm too loud, you lower down your volume yourself. If you find that I speak too low, my volume is too low, then only you let me know. Okay, I try to speak louder. Okay, so how you can run a business? You have to set up your business first. How can you set up a business? You have to set up something known as the organization. You have to set up something known as the business organization. Okay, what is business organization? Basically, it's like getting a license. You want to run your business legally. Okay, you want to run your business legally, you must get the license. Okay, business license. So setting up a business organization is like getting a business license. And there are a total of 3 business organizations. Not sure if you do business studies with your school teacher. If you do, then you should be aware of these business organizations. You can see there are 3 three rows here. Okay, the first column is business organization type. So that, as I said, there are three types of business organization. First one is known as sole trader business, or you call it as sole proprietorship. Okay, all of you are Chinese, right? Okay, so that means I can once in a while use a few Mandarin words. Okay, so means only one, right? If you look into the English dictionary, so means only one. In Mandarin, we call it the 唯一, okay, 唯一一个. So sole trader business is also known as sole proprietorship. Okay, and the person who owns that business, you focus on the next column now. Okay, next column, owners. So who is the owner of a sole trader business? You write down, fill out the blank here, sole trader. Sole trader is a person, okay? But yeah, by the way, you may add one word here, which I left out. I should have a word business here. Sole trader business. Okay, yeah. Sole trader is the person. Sole trader business is the business. So sole trader is the owner of this sole trader business. Okay, so sole trader is the owner. You can also call the sole trader as sole proprietor. Okay, so it's very common, right? When you learn a new subject, you will learn a group of terminologies. Okay, you will learn a set of terminology. Okay, so the more topics you learn, the more words you will come across, you have to get familiar with them. Okay, just like when you start learning physics, chemistry, biology, especially biology, so many terms, right? So sole trader, then you write sole proprietor. These two are synonyms to one another. Okay, so that's the first way you may run your business. Okay, set up a sole trader business. That means you run your business alone. Sole means only one, right? That means there is only one owner. Okay, you can see the third column, one owner. Okay, now we are not going to look at other columns first. Okay, we look at the first three columns first for each of the organization. Second one, partnership. Partnership. Do you think there should be more than one person? Of course, okay. Otherwise, why do you call it the partner, right? So partnership is the partnership business. And of course, there must be at least two persons. Can see at least two. Okay. And in Malaysia, it is to a maximum of 20. To a maximum of 20. Okay, so that means 2 to 20. But in certain countries, the number of owners for partnership could be more than 20. Okay, but I do not know which countries. That means my point is for every country, the maximum number of owners for partnership is different. Okay, but in Malaysia, it is 20. Okay, but of course, it must be more than one. Okay, in partnership business, there must be more than one owner. What do you call the owners in a partnership business? We call them the partners. Okay, the owners in a partnership business, we call them the partners. Okay. Don't worry, yeah. I will let you speak when I have questions for you, okay? Or when we are answering questions in the question session. Okay, I will not be talking myself throughout the whole session. Okay, third one, we call it the companies, or you call them the limited companies. In Mandarin, you know what is this, right? It is this one, okay? 公司, right? Okay, so you can call the companies as companies or limited companies. As to why you call it limited, I will explain in the future. Okay, there's a topic known as companies accounting. Okay, at that time, I'll explain to you why you call the companies as limited. Limited means not enough, right? Not enough companies, but I don't think it makes sense to you now. Okay, not enough companies. Okay, limited means not enough, but it doesn't make sense to you now. I will explain in the future. Okay, so you can see there are three ways you may set up your business. You may set up your business using sole trader business. You may set up your business using partnership, or you run your business using companies. Okay, a very common misunderstanding in students is they think that when they run a business, they must have companies. Okay, they always think that when they run a company, they must own a company. Not necessary. You can also run your business, like I mentioned just now. You can use sole trader business to run a business. you can use the partnership license to run a business, not just companies. Okay, why do students have the misunderstanding that companies is the only thing that you can use to run a business? Because they watch too much drama. They have watched too much maybe TVB drama, okay, or even other dramas, okay, that have the office environment. When they talk about business, they will mention the word 公司 company. Okay, so that's why many people have that misunderstanding. Okay, so right now, correct the misunderstanding. You can run your business using either partnership, sole proprietorship, or companies. Yeah, there are two types of companies, but I'm not going to talk about it here because it's not within the IGCSE accounting subject. So for now, you can help me to cross off this one that I don't need. Okay. You will learn the two types of companies if you do business studies, if you do. Who are the owners of companies? Anybody can guess? Okay, I wait for your answer in the chat box. Okay, so if you want to guess who is the owner of company, you tell me in the chat box. I give you about 10 seconds. Yeah, that's how I make my students write the answer. Oh, okay, patient does economics. Okay, Jason and Annabelle wants to try. Tell me in the chat box what is the owner for company. Any idea? If don't know, you can tell me don't know. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. Anyone? Okay, there's a name to the owners for company. We call them the shareholders. Okay, shareholders. In Mandarin, we call it the gudong. Okay, gudong. Okay, but you don't have to know for this subject. Okay, the Mandarin word. If you are interested, then only you go find out. Okay. In Mandarin, we call it this word. Okay, shareholders. Shareholders are the owners of companies. Okay, about the number of owners, every country is different. You don't really have to care. Okay, it's not within the IGCSE accounting subject. Okay, so cross it off. Because I created this table some time ago already. That's why I didn't modify it. Okay, so you have to help me to cross off. The two columns in the middle, you can see the word big, yes, the very big word no and yes, right? You ignore those two columns first. I will explain this when we talk about companies accounting. Okay, so for now, ignore these two columns. We will talk about these two in the future. Okay. Now you know that you can run your business using sole trader business, partnership, or companies. And let's talk about the pros and cons. The pros and cons of using each of these license. First one. So you can see right at the rightmost, you have two columns. First one, you have the advantages, the pros. The last column, you have the cons, the disadvantages. Okay, let's look at the first row, sole trader. You run your business alone, right? Run your business alone, right? In sole trader business. So do you think when you want to make any decision, what is meant by making decision in business? For example, do you think you have to think what price you set your products at? That means you have to come up with a price, okay, when you sell something, right? That's also a decision. Another possible decision you may make is where to run your business. You are choosing where to have your shop. That's also a decision, right? And since you are running your business alone, do you think someone else is going to help you to make decision? Of course, no. That's why you can make your decision alone. You can make it fast, okay? Because you are the only owner. So makes sense, right? Decision making is fast. Easy to manage? Yes. Usually for a what we call it, one-man business. Or okay, let me try to use another term. Why? Yeah, correct. One-man show business. That means where you are the only owner, your business should tend to be smaller. Okay, because you are alone, and there should be a limit to how big your business can be, right? There should be a limit to how big your business can be because you are the only owner. That's why it is easy to manage. Okay, easy to manage because your business should be small. Okay, yeah. Next, you are the only owner. You are the boss yourself. Can you decide where to go to Langkawi, where to fly to Langkawi? Yes, nowadays can. Okay, so you can manage your own holidays. If you feel like you want to fly to Langkawi today, go on and do it. Okay, you can manage which are your working days. Okay, so simple. Now look at the cons. Look at the cons. Okay, write one more advantage. One more advantage you write down, which I left out. A very important advantage. You squeeze in between again, however you want. You write owns all profits earned. Owns all profits earned. Can see? So you try to think. You are running your business alone. All the money that you have earned in your business belongs to yourself. Agree? So owns all profits earned. Compared to partnership, it would be a disadvantage, right? Because you have to share the profits. Agree? Okay. Now look at the disadvantages. Limited capital. Okay. Here is a technical accounting term you have to learn. What is meant by capital? You write down the meaning of capital. Okay, somewhere. Okay, up to you. Okay, you write capital means investment from owner into the business. Investment from owner into the business. That's the meaning of capital. Yeah, patient, correct. That also means owner's equity. Okay, we will talk more about the word equity later. Okay, so capital means investment from owner. The owner put money into the business. Owner put money into the business. The money here is capital. Okay, investment from owner. Because when you want to run the business, you must put money into it to run, right? So we call it the capital. Okay, so since you are alone, I don't mean that alone means you are not rich. You can be very rich and you run a very big business. But let's talk about average person. An average person should not be rich, right? That's why limited capital. Okay, limited capital to start your business. Next one, limited expertise. Okay, you write comma, knowledge, limited expertise, knowledge. Then you may write experience, limited experience. Why? Because you are alone. Your skills will be limited when you run your business. Okay, but we are talking about an average person. Don't tell me you are talking about Albert Einstein or the person who created Facebook. Okay, they are extraordinary people. Okay, we talk about average person. If you are alone, you will have limited skills and also limited profits. Why? Because your business should be a small one. Okay, because you are alone. Okay, your business should tend to be a small one. Okay, so you have more than enough pros and cons for you to answer certain exam questions. They may ask you what are the advantages of being alone in the business. In those theory questions, okay, in the theory question, you have to do some writing. Okay, so here are some points, not difficult to understand. Next row is partnership, more than one owner, right? That means more capital. Can see more capital. You don't have to underline like what I'm doing here, okay? I'm just underlining to let you see where I'm talking about, okay? I'm talking about the more capital here. So this is easy, more capital, because there's more than one owner, more funds in the business. More expertise and experience, background. You can also mention skills, experience, okay? Skills, experience, expertise, knowledge, okay? Because there's more than one owner. And there's one advantage. You write down together. Business risk is shared. Business risk is shared. Business risk is shared. What is meant by business risk? Business risk means the chance of losing your business, the chance of having a failure business, a failed business. Okay, so you may write down if you want to, but don't worry, they will not ask you for the meaning. So business risk means the possibility or the chance of a failed business. Okay, the chance of having a failed business. That means your business has been unsuccessful, making a lot of losses, so you close down your business. Okay, that's business risk. So you see, there's more than one owner. Let's say there are three business partners. Let's say there are three business partners. If you close down your business, the loss can be shared among the three partners. Okay, so that's what it means. Business risk is shared. That means you will not be so you will not be so sad lah. Okay, being alone. Okay, absorbing all the losses yourself. Okay, so yeah, you are sharing the risk. The disadvantages, last column, slower decision making. Why? Let's say there are three business partners. All of them are owners, right? All the partners are business owners. Do you think that they have the right to say something when you want to make a decision? Of course, yes. So usually they will have to sit down together at a table, then they have to discuss. Okay, discuss takes time. So needs discussion. That's why you will have slower decision making. Next, as they are discussing, arguments may arise. They may fight against one another. Agree? Okay. Okay. Now, last one, you cross it off. This is a complex point that you don't have to know. Okay. You will learn more of this if you do business or do economics. Okay. Okay. So once again, more than enough pros and cons for you here. Okay. There's one disadvantage you may write down together. One disadvantage you write down. Profits are shared. Okay. All profits are shared among the partners. Agree? Because all the three partners are owners, so you have to share profit with them. All profits are shared. Okay, write down. Okay, now finish talking about sole trader business. Finish talking about partnership business. We look at last one, companies. For companies, how is it different from partnership? We will talk about it in the future topic known as companies accounting. For now, let's look at the pros and cons first. A lot of capital. Okay, when you talk about companies, you must have the perception that companies are always big. Okay, companies are usually big businesses. Okay, that's why you will have a lot of capital. Okay, you have a lot of capital. And since it's a big business, there's a higher chance of making profit. Okay, in fact, there are more advantages, which if I tell you, it's very hard to explain, okay? Because in the future, you will learn the topic known as companies accounting. At that time, I will tell you more advantages. For now, just take these two, okay? Now, the ones on the right, this one, ignore it. This is a complex line. Ignore this one. Okay. Now, this one is easy to understand, harder to manage. I told you that sole trader business tends to be small and companies tend to be big, right? So a big business, easy to run or not? Of course, no, harder to manage. Because you run a big business, you should also have a lot of employees, okay? You have to learn how to communicate with your employees and a lot more people to manage, okay? So not easy to manage a big business. Last one, accounts are publicly published. There's no privacy. Okay, this is a complex point, but I try my best to tell you what it means. Okay, for companies, they must publish their accounts to the website for all the people to see, for everyone, those in the public to see. You try to imagine, okay, you are running a company and you have done the accounting for the current year, and you upload, you are required to upload it to the internet so that everyone in the world can see your accounts. Yeah, that's what this point means. That's what this point means. As to why, I don't have a reason for you, because this is used to comply with the rule of the country. Okay, for companies, they must publish the accounting to everyone in the world to see. Okay, so as to comply with the rule of the country. Okay, so as to why they set this rule, I do not know. Okay, I've not learned as well. Okay, so just take it as it is. That's the disadvantage of being in a company. Okay, so this table summary, 3 business organizations. At least you must know who are the owners, the second column, and then the pros and cons, the leftmost column, those two at the rightmost. Those in the middle, I'm talking about these two. I will explain to you in the future, okay, in a topic known as companies accounting, okay, the column in the middle. Okay, so if you have no question, then we look at the next page. Okay, here, this one ignore first. I will explain this in a topic known as companies accounting. I created this part many years ago. That's why I don't have this modified. Okay, I don't have this modified. You come to here. We look at some reasons. Why do you need to learn accounting? Okay, page 7. Okay, so you write down, fill up some blanks. First one, you write, I want second one, you write, I try my best to give you the best handwriting, okay? Number 3, you write, number 4, you write, okay, so when you're done writing, tell me with the word done in the chat box, and then I will start to explain. Okay, so this is what I usually tell my students to do. When you're done, tell me done in the chat box. When you're done writing. Okay, good, Annabelle. Okay, good, Jason. Okay, good. Patient. I'm not the teacher of any school, okay? I'm not the teacher of any school. This is my full-time job, okay? Teaching accounting online is my full-time job. I don't teach any other subjects. Okay, well, because I wonder if you could be thinking that I'm a teacher from any school. No, I'm not any teacher of any school. So why do you learn accounting? I always tell my students, you must do something for a reason, okay? We must do something for a reason. And never try to think that because somebody tells me to do this subject, then I do it, okay? And don't think that because the school teacher asks you to choose a subject to do, then only you you do it. Okay, you must do something for a reason. And let's see some reasons here. First one, I want to be an accountant. I can give you a picture, okay, of how the life of an accountant is. Yeah, you can see here at the top right. If you happen to be working in an office in the future, okay, and you see some accountants, this is how they look like. Okay, they are always in front of a computer. They are always with a laptop, and around them there will be a lot of files, a lot of boxes containing a lot of files around them. Okay, and I know it doesn't look easy. Okay, being an accountant is not easy, and especially when it comes to working hours. Okay, in Malaysia, the working hours for an accountant it can be very long. It can be very long. Oh, okay. Patient said your uncle is like that. Okay, okay. So working hours is very long. After you have come back from the office, do you think it's over? No, not over yet. You have brought back some work from the office. Okay, so after you have come back from the office, you are still working at home. Okay, sometimes. Okay, sometimes. So People say that there's a saying, there's no life, okay? There's no life. But to be honest with you, there are some things good about being an accountant. For example, job security is very good. Job security is very good. I'm not talking about security guard here, okay? Job security means how secure is your job? How easily would you lose your job? For an accountant, it's not easy to lose your job because there are so many people who run a business, right? There are so many people who like to run their own business. When there is business, there is accounting. When there is business, there is accounting. That's why if you do accounting in the university, after you have graduated, I can guarantee you that today you send your resume to somewhere, okay, to any company. I think a few days later you will get the invitation to go for the interview. Okay, so getting a job not a problem. Okay, really, and the problem is only that you have to be tough. Okay, you have to be tough. Okay, and during all the working hours, not easy, not easy. And about the pay, okay, another thing good is about the pay. Of course, you need to work for some years first. Okay, and the terms that are bad to describe is you have to work for a few years like a dog first. Okay, so you work for a few years like a dog, and then of course, it doesn't sound good. Okay, it depends on who is your boss. Okay, who is your immediate superior? Who is your immediate superior? Then it depends. Then that would decide whether your job, your life will be good in that position or not. So about pay in Malaysia, after you have graduated, we call it the fresh graduate pay. Fresh graduate pay. In Malaysia, is on average 2008. Okay, whenever you have graduated as an accountant, your pay will be around 2008. Okay, not running very far away from this figure. And after you have worked for 2 to 3 years, it could be getting to maybe 3005, around 3005, 3 years later. And maybe 2 years later, it could get to 4008. Okay, so it would jump faster when you have more experience. Okay, what about me? Honestly speaking, I had been an accountant for only 1.5 to 2 years. Okay, and my salary is just around 3,000. Okay, I didn't have a lot of experience. I didn't have a lot of experience being a real life accountant. Okay. Okay, so first point, if you want to be an accountant, of course, you must learn accounting. Number two, I want to run the business. Just now I say, right, when you have a business, you must do accounting. Okay, when you have a business, you must do accounting. Of course, you can say, why can't I just hire somebody to be my accountant? That means you are the business owner. We hire an accountant to help us do accounting. We hire an accountant. Yes, it's fine. But on certain days, your accountant may want to communicate with you, right? They tell you how your business is doing, right? When that accountant is using some terms that you don't understand, then you cannot do anything, right? Because in accounting, just like, okay, let's say you are talking to somebody who has studied medicine. Okay, you are talking to somebody who has studied medicine. Would you understand all the technical terms that the doctor mentioned? Of course, no. So if you understand their terms, then you would understand better the situation, right? Okay, whatever the doctor mentioned to you. So the same is here. Even though we are the business owner, if you know how to communicate with your accountant, then it would make you understand your accounting better. It would make you understand your business better. Okay, and another reason is also to avoid the accountant cheating on you. Possible, right? There are many kinds of people in this world, and to prevent the accounting cheating on us, we must know at least the basic accounting, at least learn the IGCSE accounting, so that you don't get cheated when you hire an accountant. Okay, so makes sense, yeah. Number three, I want to be a stock trader. I'm not sure you have heard of people who buy and sell shares and then earning a lot of money. Okay, in Mandarin we call it 买股票. Okay, so yeah, that in English we call it as stock trader, and you must know accounting. You ready? Okay, you must know accounting. very soon you would know, okay? If you happen to come across people who are stock traders, okay, you talk to them, whether you ask them whether accounting is important, they will tell you yes. Number 4, I want to manage my money in my life more better. I want to manage my money in my life better. So you see, usually people who do accounting, they are more not money sensitive, but number sensitive. Okay, they are more number sensitive. They will spend more wisely. They will spend more wisely in their life. When they buy something, they always talk about discount. Okay, there's a topic known as discount in accounting. Okay, so it helps you to some extent in your life. Okay, really. Okay, so that's why you learn accounting. Okay, that's why you learn accounting. If you think of more reasons, then you tell me. Okay, I'm just giving you the general overview. Okay, why you do accounting. Don't worry, this will not come up in the exam. Okay, just for your own understanding. Okay, these four lines. And next page, here it tells you the line. Some people will tell you that they don't need to learn accounting because they say that they want to open a clinic, they want to be a lawyer, opening a lawyer firm, sue people here and there. They want to open a restaurant, or they want to be an engineer. But is restaurant a business? Yes. Is clinic a business? Yes. An accounting firm, is it a business? Yes. So that means we have to get back to the point I mentioned just now. Every business needs accountant, right? So you must at least know the basic accounting, like IGCSE accounting, so that you don't get cheated by the accountant you hire. Okay, so make sense? Because these are businesses too. Accounting, there's a saying, okay, not sure if you have heard of this term. Accounting is the language of any business, which means when there is business, there's accounting. Okay, so cannot run away from having this in life if you want to run a business in the future. Yeah, so that's it for introduction to business and accounting. Just now, we talked about why you run a business. Okay, sorry, why you run a business, you want to earn money. And then we talk about how, okay, we talk about why you run a business. We talk about how you run a business. You can use sole trader business, you can use partnership, you can set up a company. Yeah. And we talk about why you do accounting, okay, because of these 4 reasons. Okay, patient said restaurant might hire bookkeepers. Yeah, they may hire, but to avoid people cheating on you, it's better to have some knowledge of accounting ourselves. Okay, one of you asked me, if I want to be a pilot, do I need to learn accounting? Better to have the knowledge. Okay, that means you are saying that if you want to be a pilot, it's quite unlikely that you go set up an airline company, right? It's not easy, right? Yeah, I get your point. But what about your children? Your children who may want to run a business. So if you have the accounting knowledge, then maybe you can channel some knowledge to your son or daughter so that they don't get cheated. Yeah. So not just helpful to ourselves. If you know accounting, maybe you can help somebody else. You may help your brothers and sisters in their business also. Okay, so not just about helping ourselves. Okay, so to answer your question exactly, if you want to be a pilot, I don't think you need to learn accounting. Okay, because when you drive the plane, you don't need to apply accounting, but it could be useful to other areas in your life. Okay, so we get to the first official topic in accounting. You come to page number 9. Okay, so this is the real thing. Okay, the real thing that's important for exam, things that are important for you to learn. Okay, now let's see. This page you have to turn your book. Okay, turn your book 90-degree clockwise so that it becomes like this. Okay, here we are going to see what we call as the accounting equation. Okay, you know the word equation, of course, because you learn mathematics. And what equation I'm talking about here? It is this one. This is the accounting equation. Okay, later we will do some questions. Okay, very soon. For your info, this is the last page of the note section. Okay, this is how I arrange all my chapters. I will begin with the note section, and then followed by a lot of questions behind. Okay, so this is the last page of the notes, and you can see the next page. Immediately, we have many questions. Okay, let's see this. What is accounting equation? And this is it. You have assets equal to capital slash equity plus liabilities. And now I'm going to explain to you the meaning of every term here. We start with the word capital. Just now we saw the term capital, right? Capital means investment from owner. Imagine you are the business owner, you put money into the business, that is capital. Okay, then what about the slash equity? Slash equity, it means that it's synonym. Equity means the same as capital, capital means the same as equity. Okay, yeah, so you may write down throughout the subject, I just give you a heads up right now, okay? Throughout the subject, you will see a lot of synonyms. You remember earlier? You saw a few just now. Which one? Sole trader, sole proprietor, they are synonym to one another. Okay, and then now you are seeing one more. Equity means the same as capital. They are synonym to one another. So if you want to, you write synonym. Okay, which means investment from owner. For official definition, that definition means meaning, you know, okay? Definition means meaning. For official definition, to answer a question in the exam that asks you what is the meaning of capital or what is the meaning of owner's equity or equity, your answer is at the bottom right. You see, at the bottom right, you have a list of definitions. All the definitions here are important, okay? They are testable in the exam, okay? So yeah, it would be your task to remember this line, okay? You have to remember this line. We look at this first, equity slash capital. So it says that capital is investment by the owner, okay? Or you call it from the owner in the form of cash, check, or other assets. Okay, you add a few terms that I left out. You write into the business. Right into the business. Okay, so what it's saying here is the owner wants to run a business, and to start off the business, the owner must put things into the business. The owner must put things into the business. And what are the things that the owner can put into the business? Of course, you must put money in, right? So in accounting, money can be in the form of cash or check. Cash is the physical money that you can see. I mean, you have wallet, right? Money that's inside your wallet is cash. Okay, what money that you can see and touch, that's the cash. That's cash. Check, you know, right? Check means that the piece of paper, okay, where you have a figure written on it. Okay, that check. That is check. Okay, so just now I say that when the owner wants to start a business, not only that this person can put money into the business. Okay, so just now I mentioned money, right? Mention means either cash or check. Okay, now not just money, it can be any other things. You imagine you run a restaurant. Okay, you need a lot of chairs and tables, right? You need a lot of chairs and tables. Okay, maybe your house happen to have a lot of chairs. Your house happen to have a lot of chairs. Do you think that it is logical for you to bring those chairs from your home into the restaurant that you are running? Of course, yes, right? Okay, it is stupid if you don't bring the chairs into your restaurant, right, from your home. That's why we say that when you run a business, you want to put things into the business. It is not always just money. You can put other things into the business, depends on what you need in your business. Okay, just now I said that you have started a restaurant. You need a lot of tables and chairs. So, and your house happen to have a lot of chairs. So logically, you should bring the chairs into your business. Get my idea, yeah? Okay. So just an example. It can be any other examples, but this one is easier to explain for me. Okay, so that's why you see here the definition: investment by owner in the form of cash, check, or other assets. Later, I will explain what is asset. Okay, the chair that I mentioned just now is an example of asset. You write the word other here or other assets. Okay. Can understand? Yeah, that's equity slash capital. Same meaning. Okay, now, let me tell you there's one difference between the word capital and equity. And you write down. Just now you learned about the three business organizations, right? Sole trader, partnership, companies. For sole trader and partnership, we actually use the term capital. Okay, for sole trader and partnership, we write down. We use the term capital. On another hand, we use the word equity when we talk about companies accounting. Okay, so there's a topic known as companies accounting in the future, which you will learn. By that time, I will use the word equity more. Okay, when we come to a topic known as companies accounting, which is in chapter 15. Okay, many months later, this is in chapter 15. At that time, I will use the word equity more. Okay, that means throughout all other topics, we are going to use the term capital more. Okay, throughout all other topics, we will use the word capital more. Okay, so conclusion about this term. Capital means the same as equity, means investment from owner. But there's a small difference between the two words. We use the word equity when we talk about companies accounting. When we look at sole trader and partnership, we use the word capital. Okay, yeah. Okay. Now, the accounting equation, let's look at another term, liability. Let's look at liabilities. Liabilities, you have to know it as borrowings. Okay, liabilities means borrowings. You borrow money from people. Borrowings. That means we owe people money, agree? Okay, we owe the outsiders money. So liability means borrowing. So you can see, right, here is written money borrowed by the business. There are two types of borrowings. One is known as non-current liabilities. The other one is known as current liabilities. Okay, non-current liabilities and current liabilities. And let's write down a few examples together. Then I will explain to you the difference between the two groups of liabilities. Okay, let's write down together. You write bank loan. Then you write if you cannot see, let me know, okay? I will zoom in further or I write more properly. And then last one, you write okay. Now current liabilities, you write for the date that I'm writing here, you follow, okay? The date that I'm writing here, you follow. Later I will split. Okay, I'm done writing. I wait for you to finish. When you're done, let me know in the chat box. Okay, good, patient. Okay, good, Annabelle. Okay, let's wait for Jason to finish the writing. Jason have finished the writing, or you are in the washroom? Okay, he could be in the washroom or away or not yet finished. Okay, I wait for you. We have a lot of time, plenty of time. Sorry. Okay, good, Jason. Okay, now we are going to understand what is the difference between non-current liabilities and current liabilities first. To save my time of pronouncing, I will call this as NCL. Okay, I call this as NCL, and I call this as CL. Okay, save my time and energy. So, you can see here. Okay, those red words here. Debts. Debts means borrowing. Okay, debts means liabilities. To be repaid, repay means payback. Okay, repay means payback after at least 12 months from now. Okay, add two words here from now. These are non-current liabilities. Current liabilities means debts to be repaid within 12 months from now. Okay, let me describe this further. Let me explain further. What day is today? Today is, don't have to write this, okay? I just do some writing here. Today is this date, right? Today is this day. And what is the date 12 months from now? What is the date 12 months from now? So it is 31st September 2022. Okay, very soon I will give you such an exercise here. When I give you the beginning of the year, you must give me the date 12 months later. Or I give you a date, then you give me the date that is 12 months before. Okay, in another topic, I will guide you on how to find the date. So today is this day. 12 months later is September 31st, 2020. Okay, so if you have a borrowing that you have promised to pay back on, you have a borrowing that you have promised to pay back on in March 2022. So it is in between these two dates, right? March 2022. So we call this as current liability. Okay, is an example of current liability. If you have a loan that you have to pay back in March 2022, then it's a current liability. In fact, all the borrowings that you have to pay back within this period, we call it as current liability. That's why you see they have the term here. They wrote debts to be repaid within 12 months from now. These are the 12 months that I'm mentioning. You get the idea? Okay, okay. That's current liabilities. Debts that you have to repay within a short period of time, 12 months. What about current liabilities? Sorry, non-current liabilities, the NCL. You see the word after? After at least 12 months. So it means that if you have a borrowing that you have to pay back in 2023, is it within the 1 year from now? No, 2023 is more than 1 year from now. So this is a non-current liability. As long as you have a borrowing, for example, you have one more borrowing that you have to pay back in October 2022. You have to pay back in October 2022. It is still more than 1 month. Sorry, it's still more than 1 year from now, right? October 2022. So it is a non-current liability. Get the idea? Yeah, so not very difficult to understand here. Basically, you can see the current liabilities as those borrowings you have to pay back within a short period of time. For NCL, they are the borrowings that you have to pay back only after 1 year from now. Only after 1 year from now. Get the idea? Yeah. Okay. Next will be to looking at the examples. Okay, looking at the examples you wrote just now. Let me erase this first. Okay. We look at the list of NCL you have written, non-current liabilities. Okay, bank loan. What is meant by bank loan? You know what is bank, you know what is loan. Combine these two words together, what is bank loan? Bank loan means the money that you have borrowed from the bank. The money that you have borrowed from the bank. Okay, so why is it a non-current liability? You can actually tell the bank that I wish to pay back within 1 year, right? If you tell the bank that you wish to pay back within 1 year, then it will be current liability, right? But this is something you have to remember separately. Okay, bank loan, we always, when you see the term bank loan, we always assume that it's a non-current liability. We have to assume that it's an NCL. Okay, so you're right. We have to assume that it's an NCL. If you ask me why, I'm not too sure. Okay, it's always the case. Bank loan is NCL. You try to imagine when you borrow money to buy a car, I think you don't have to pay back so soon, right? We pay monthly, right? That's installment. You pay by installment. But for IG accounting, we don't talk about installment. Okay, don't worry about that so much. So bank loan, have to remember, is an NCL. Second one, this makes sense because it's written here, repayable 2023. 2023 is more than 1 year from now, right? 2023. So NCL. Next one, you should have not seen this before, even if you have learned NCL with your school teacher. Debentures. Can see debentures. This is a term that you will learn in companies accounting because this is a borrowing that is only available to the companies. Okay, you write down only for companies. Okay, but for now, I just want you to know that it's an NCL. Okay, but I will talk more about this when we do the chapter 15. Chapter 15. Okay, it's an NCL. Debenture is not debtor. Debenture is not debtor. Later, I tell you what is the meaning of debtor and creditor. Okay, let me write it down here. Later, I explain to you what is debtor, who is creditor. These two words are important to know also. Okay, now that's it for NCL. Let's look at current liabilities. Here are 3 examples of current liabilities. First one, understandably, is a current liability because it's saying here repayable March 2022. March 2022 is within 1 year from now, right? Within 1 year from now, right? That's why it's a current liability. Okay. What is trade payables? Okay. This term you must know super well. You will see this term many times throughout the subject. Okay. Let's understand what is trade payables. I have the definition written at the bottom. Okay. Scroll downward. Trade payables are here. Can see? Okay. Let's see this. So just now you have known the synonym, right? Liabilities also means debts. Okay, liabilities also means debts, also means borrowings. But the technical term is liabilities. Technical terms is liabilities. That means liabilities means borrowings. Okay, so you look at the definition, we analyze together. The meaning of trade payables. Debts owed by the business. Okay, debts owed by the business. In Mandarin, this means 欠, right? O means 欠. Okay, so debts owed by the business. That means business means us. Okay, whenever you see the word business in definition, business means us. We are business. Okay, you must remember this. When you see definition, when you see that there's a word business in the definition, business means us. We are business. So we owe somebody money. This means we owe somebody money. Okay, debts owed by the business. We owe somebody money. And why do we owe somebody money? The next few words explain it. For goods bought, that means we bought goods. Goods means the things you buy and sell regularly. Later, I talk more about goods. So goods bought, you can think of this as things lah for now. Goods means things. Goods means things. Okay, so you buy goods, you bought goods. And this term is even more important on credit. Okay, you write down. On credit means no immediate payment. On credit means no immediate payment. We owe supplier. Okay, supplier, this word supplier, you must also get used to it. Supplier. Can see, right? On credit means you don't pay immediately, no immediate payment. That means you buy goods, you don't pay immediately. And maybe you promise to the supplier that please trust me, I will pay to you within 2 weeks time. Okay, you tell the supplier, I will pay to you within 2 weeks time. Okay, so there's buying goods on credit. Okay, so you must know this term, on credit. On credit means there's no immediate payment. Okay, okay. Have it programmed into your mind. You buy goods, you get the goods first. Okay, you buy some things, you get the things first, but you don't pay immediately. You tell the seller, I will pay you 3 weeks later. Okay, so that's buying goods on credit from the supplier. So now the definition makes sense. Trade payables mean we owe the suppliers money. Okay, money that you owe to the supplier is known as trade payables. Okay, why you owe the suppliers? Because you buy goods on credit. You have not paid for the goods. Okay, you have not paid for the goods. Why? Why the suppliers allow you to owe him or her money? Maybe the supplier is your friend. Okay, so you buy some goods from your friend, and you promise to your friend that I will pay you 3 weeks later. Okay, so that's trade payables. Okay, why? So you have understood what is trade payables, right? Why trade payables is a current liability? Why trade payables is a current liability? Okay, logically, suppliers would not allow us to owe them for more than 12 months. Suppliers should not allow us. Okay, you may write down, yeah. Okay, can see when I use the word cross, when I use the X, right? X means don't. Okay, suppliers don't allow us to owe them for more than 12 months. Because suppliers are also in business, right? They need to survive, right? If the suppliers allow all the customers to pay after 1 year, suppliers will close down business themselves first, right? Okay, so that's why it's trade payable, because suppliers should look for you to get the money within a short period of time. They won't allow you to owe them for more than 12 months. Logical? Okay, yeah. That's why trade payables is a current liability. Let's understand the next one. If you don't understand, let me know, yeah. Bank overdraft. Next one is bank overdraft. This term you must also know and remember it, because you will see this term throughout the whole subject. Sorry, yeah, the whole subject, correct. Bank overdraft. You know what is the word bank, right? But what is overdraft? I explain to you now. Okay, okay. You can see there's a definition at the bottom here. Bank overdraft. It says that bank overdraft is a negative balance in a bank account. What does it mean? Negative balance in a bank account. Of course, you know what is negative number. You learn in mathematics what is negative number, right? Okay. Now, let me explain to you bank overdraft. I'm going to use the area on the left, okay, to explain. Imagine you run a business. We run a business. Do you need to have a bank account? Do you think nowadays you need a bank account to run a business? Of course. Imagine you want to sell some things on Lazada. You want to sell some things on Shopee. Do you need a bank account? Of course. Okay, when people buy from you, the money gets into your bank account. Okay, make sense? Okay, so when you have started a business, you go open a bank account. Logical, okay? You go open a bank account. And generally, there are two types of accounts you can open. Okay, in real life, when you go into the bank, you tell them that you want to open an account. They will ask you, sir or madam, what account do you want to open? They will ask you that question. So generally, there are two types of accounts. But don't worry, they will not test you on this in exam. Okay, I'm just telling you what happened in real life. There are two types of accounts you can open. One is known as savings account. Another one is known as current account. I use the two alphabets A/C, okay? It stands for account. So there are two types of accounts you can open. If you are a simple person, you just want to open an account to save your hard-earned money. You want to open an account to save your hard-earned money. then you open a savings account. If you have a saving account right now and you are not running a business, I strongly believe that your account is a savings account. Okay, so as the term implies, this account is meant for you to saving money. Okay, you want to save your hard-earned money. Okay, it's meant for saving. Okay. Now, what about people who want to run a business? For people who want to run a business, they open a current account. Okay, for people who are running business, they open a current account. So what is the difference between savings account and current account? Now I tell you. And this will lead me to explain what is bank overdraft. Okay, so just now I said that you started a business, then you open a bank account. So you open a current account. Okay, logical. Because you are running a business. So what is so special? What is so special about current account? Okay, let me tell you how special it is. Current account. Imagine that right now you put into the current account. Maybe you put in 5,000. Okay, you put in $5,000 into the current account. Yeah. By the way, when you do accounting subject, make sure you don't write ringgit Malaysia. Okay, you know what subject is where this subject is from? From the UK, Cambridge. So make sure you use dollar sign. Okay, don't write RM. RM is wrong. Okay, write dollar. Okay, and alphabet S, then you draw the vertical line down. Okay, that's dollar. Don't write RM. Okay. Now let me continue to explain. So just now I said that you open your current account, you put in 5,000. Okay. Then you start to spend. Okay, you start to spend the money for your business. So imagine that you go on to spend 3,000 for something. Okay, whatever you have spent on. So you have 5,000, you spend 3,000 now, and then you continue to spend. You continue to spend. Okay, spend 1,000. Now you are left with 1,000, right? Minus 3,000 minus 1,000. And then you continue to spend 700 minus 700. Okay, now you are left with 300, right? Okay. Now you continue to spend. You spend a further 300. Do you still have money in the bank? Answer is no. Your bank account right now is $0. Okay. Now, can you still withdraw money from the bank? Answer is yes. That's the special thing about current account. When the amount in your bank account reaches 0, you can still withdraw money out of the bank account. So what will happen when you withdraw money when it is at $0? It will become a negative number. So let's say you withdraw 200. Okay, when it is at 0, you withdraw another 200. That means it becomes negative 200. This is known as bank overdraft. This is known as bank overdraft. If you see, the term actually makes sense. Overdraft actually means over withdraw. Over withdraw. You may write down. Overdraft actually means over withdraw from the bank account. Over. That's why you have the word over in front. Okay, over withdraw. That's why it becomes a negative number. Make sense? Okay, so how can it be a negative number? Because the bank borrows you money. Sorry, the bank lends us money. We are borrowing money from the bank. Okay, so just now at the $0 there, when you withdraw the 200, it means that you borrow $200 from the bank. Okay, make sense? So this is bank overdraft. It means that you have over withdrawn from your current account. That's why you see the definition. Definition here tells you it's a negative balance in a bank account. You owe the bank money. Yeah, easy to understand. Okay. Okay. Now, why is it a current liability? Why bank overdraft is a current liability? Because the bank would not let you owe them for a long time. Bank overdraft is something that is temporary. Okay, the bank will not let you have a bank overdraft for more than a year. That's why it's a current liability. You have to make sure that it gets back to 0 and above within a short period of time. You have to ensure that it gets back to 0 or above within a short period of time. That's why it's a current liability. Okay, so you may write down. Just now I say that bank overdraft is a borrowing, right? Okay, and you're right. Bank won't allow this for a long time. Okay, bank will not allow this for a long time. It's just temporary. Okay, that's why it's a current liability. The bank expects you to pay back within a short period of time. Okay, so I have finished explaining the list of non-current liabilities and current liabilities. Okay, now what else have I not explained? The accounting equation, I've talked about capital / equity, I've talked about liabilities, and we are now left with assets. Okay, so actually I intend to talk about assets in the next lesson. For now, let me explain two more words, okay? Two more words to you. Debtors and creditor. You can see at the top left corner, you have debtors and creditors. Okay, let me explain what is the meaning of these two. And you write together with me. Debtor means someone who owes us money. You know owe, right? Owe means this meaning. Someone who owes us money is known as debtor. And an example of a debtor is customer. Customer who buy on credit from us. Someone who buys on credit from us. You know the meaning of on credit? You know the meaning, right? On credit, just now I explained. On credit means no immediate payment. On credit means no immediate payment. So this line means customer buys something from us, without paying first, and customer owes us money. Okay, so this is an example of debtor. Debtor can be anybody. Debtor simply means someone who owes us money. Okay, okay. Now, next word, creditor. Creditor means what? Okay, let's see. Creditor means the other way around. We owe money to creditor. We always owe money to creditor. So you're right. Someone whom we owe money to. Someone whom we owe money to. For example, you have a bank loan, so the bank is creditor. Okay, you have a bank loan means you have borrowed money from the bank. So we call the bank as creditor. Okay, so that's creditor. Okay, we always owe money to creditor. Debtors always owe money to us. You see the difference? Okay, so have to get used to this term. Don't get them mixed up because you will see these two terms quite frequently. Okay, debtor is someone who owes us money. Creditor is somebody who owes, we owe money to them. Okay, creditor is somebody who we owe money to them. Can be anybody. Okay, so for this page, I'm now left with whatever I have here, you write down, yeah, okay, the debtors and creditors. So I finished talking about the first half of the equation, okay, capital / equity plus liabilities. I've explained everything about the first half of the equation. I'm only left with assets. Next lesson, I will talk about assets and the two types of assets here, okay, non-current asset and current assets. By the way, let me tell you how I usually call this equation. Okay, for the accounting equation here, remember the name of the topic, accounting equation. Okay, this topic is known as accounting equation. At the top left, you see the word here, accounting equation. So accounting equation is asset equal to capital / equity plus liabilities. But usually I call it this way. I call it as A equal to C plus L. I call it as A equal to C plus L because A stands for assets, C stands for capital, L stands for liabilities. What about the E? The alphabet E, I don't use it that much because the equity, I will use it more when I talk about chapter 15. That's why we will use the term we will use the term capital more. That's why I call it as A equal to C plus L. You can actually rearrange all the items in this equation, just like what you do in mathematics. When you move something to the other side, it becomes negative. You change the sign, right? Okay, that means you can also rearrange it to become, okay, right along with me. You can rearrange it to become A minus C equals to L, or A minus L equal to C. Yes, this is something you have to know. Okay, A equal to C plus L. So you can do whatever you can do with an equation. You move around all the items and you can form two other equations. Okay, A equal to C plus L, A minus C equal to L, or A minus L equal to C. Let me ask you, do you have to remember all three? Answer is no. Okay, don't remember all three. You just have to remember the first one, the most basic one, A equal to C plus L. Then the other two you can form yourself by rearranging the items. Agree? Okay, so the counter equation is A equal to C plus L. Today you have learned the two types of liabilities, NCL and CL. And that's it. Okay, I show you some questions. You try as homework, which I will explain and discuss next week. You go to page number 10, you do. So for homework, usually I will use the symbol HW, okay, because I have more than 50 number of online students, okay. So for sure, I cannot keep track which one I have done, which one I have not done. That's why I need to put a note next to the question. So this one you do as homework, then I will write the date of assignment also. Okay, so this one do as homework. For those I have not told you to try, we will settle next time, okay? Don't worry. Okay, these two MCQ you do as homework. Start to jot down, yeah, start to jot down. Next page, page 11, you do this as homework. This MCQ do as homework. Question 11, homework. Then, question F2 and 3. Next page, page 12, question 2. Also question 3. Don't worry, these are easy questions, okay? I'm not giving you a lot. I'm giving you a lot of easy questions, okay? These topic questions are not that difficult. So I know you can finish within a short period of time. And then page 13, here, this one, question I. And then last page, the last page, page 14, 2A, 2B. Some of them are quite repetitive, but good for you to practice. Okay, good for you to practice. Okay, 2A, 2B. And then at the bottom here, you do MC1, and then MC3, and then MC4. That's it. Okay, next week I will discuss all these questions one by one, and then we will also wrap up the part 1. Okay, then we move on to part 2. So if you have no questions and you have understood whatever I have mentioned today, then good. Okay, good to you. And we can say goodbye. Okay, so good night, everyone. I will see you next week at the same time. Bye-bye. I will send you the video. Oh, Jason, repeat page 11, which one? Okay, hold on. Yeah. Page 11. These 3 MCQ. First one, third one, number 4. And then here, the definition question, 2 and 3. What about the later pages you have circled? Next page, 2 and 3. Okay, good. Okay, so have a nice day. Good night. I see you next week at the same time. Bye, Jason.